So I spent so much time today just listening to Lorna Shore from start to finish, every single album. And in doing so, now I have this and this and some of this stuck in my head. That's all that's been playing in my head all day. The reason I did all of that is I wanted to rank Lorna Shore's albums from number 1, the best, to number 5, the worst. And say there's 5. I know there's only like 4 full releases, but then they had what is it called? And I Return to Nothingness, which was an EP. So I'm gonna count that as, part of the ranking here. And why did I want to do this? I don't know. Lorna Shore has a pretty special place in my heart, and To the Hellfire still to this day is the most viewed video on my channel as of this point, with the initial reaction I did when To the Hellfire came out. So I don't know, there's kind of a cool relationship I have with them. I'm gonna rate these albums on a couple of different standards. Number 1, mix. Number 2, how skippable the songs are. And number 3, how likely am I to return to listening to the album? If I had to sit and listen through the whole thing again, what would be the chance that I would? Granted, this is my opinion, okay? We're all entitled to opinion, and if you disagree with me, suck me. I don't know. If you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments. Tell me what your ranking is. Let me know what you think, but here's my top 5. Number 5, Flesh Coffin. I think Flesh Coffin personally was my bottom 5. It was tough between Psalms and Flesh Coffin, which was gonna be number 5. So there were some cool songs. Vernal Moon, Black Hollow, I really liked those tunes. Those tracks were very solid. Just as a whole, after I got done listening to the whole album, start to finish, I just was not horribly impressed. I'm probably not going to sit down and listen to that album ever again, holistically all the way through. So that's why it caught number 5. There wasn't thing. The mix wasn't bad, but it just didn't hit hard with me. Number 4, Psalms. Now, this is their original album. I really liked White Noise, Grimoire. The first song on the album was really cool. So I like those songs, kind of stand out to me. Obviously, the mix was a little bit rough, but I kind of liked that. It made it a little endearing to me, which is why I put it in number 4 spot. Some of the songs were pretty skippable. I wanted to skip through them, but I wanted to stick with the challenge and listen to the album in its entirety, start to finish. So some of the songs were a little bit skippable, but it was enough to do number 4. Number 3, And I Return to Nothingness. Okay, now, if we're being fair here, the EP isn't a technical full album release, okay? But I think it was a solid number 3. The mix on this EP was very good. To the Hellfire obviously broke the internet, so there you go. On that merit alone, I think that was worthy of the number 3 spot. With it only being 3 songs, it was very easy to sit through, and it was not skippable. I didn't feel like skipping any of the songs right away, straight off the bat. Yeah, so it met all the criteria. It was a solid number 3 choice. Number 2 and number 1, I honestly will say, would have been probably interchangeable for me. But number 2 was Pain Remains. I think Pain Remains was number 2. Welcome Back was Sleeping Dreamer. The first song on the album was super solid and was really cool. I liked that song, honestly. Probably on the entire album, that was my favorite track. Sun Eater, obviously, Apotheosis, I think it's how you say that, was also really cool. Those tracks stood out on the album to me. It was a little bit skippable here and there, but that's only because I've listened to the full album I don't know how many times all the way through before, so this is not my first time listening to it, but I gave it another listen, kind of listening to the criteria. The mix is fantastic. I liked a lot of the production things that they did on it, and overall, it was really good. And finally, that brings us to number 1, Immortal. Now, I am not rating these off of the vocalists. Now, granted, me being, you know, a vocalist doing this type of genre of music now, like, and wanting to get into doing this type of music, it doesn't really sway my opinion, you know, because I like CJ and then I like Will for different reasons. I think they have different qualities that make them different from one another and that lends themselves to the sound. Overall, Immortal to me was the best to sit through. I did not feel as though this album is slow at any point. Mix was awesome, and I think it was the heaviest album that they've had, quite personally. Where Pain Remains was almost a little bit more black metal, a little bit more symphonic, I think Immortal kind of went in the other direction, you know, with kind of the deathcore thing. And a little bit more genuine deathcore, I feel like, if I had to genreize it. I hate genre titles, by the way, but if I had to put it in a genre label, I feel like Immortal felt more in that deathcore lane. Death Portrait, King of Deception, Immortal, Relentless Torment at the end of the album was super awesome. Like, so, dude, there were so many good songs on that album from start to finish. It never dropped my attention. You know, I didn't feel like, ugh, I'm kind of dragging through these things. Like, all of the songs were not skippable. It all felt good, you know. So take that for what it is. And you might have a different number 1, but I think Immortal edged out Pain Remains for the best album. But there you have it, guys. Like I said, that's my opinion. I spent all day today listening to all the albums. You know, so that's all 5 of them I managed to squeeze in all day today, and I had to kind of pace myself. Deathcore is one of those things, like, once you listen to it a lot, and you gotta listen to something else after some point. I hope you liked the video. Tell me what you think if you like this video. I might do this with other bands. I don't know. We'll see how it goes with this. So you tell me your top 5, how you would rank the albums. Tell me if you think I'm stupid or if you agree. And let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.